Right, I'm just going to put a shape on here and colour it in. I go to the rectangle tool in the tools panel and I'm going to drag out a sort of rectangle shape between the bleeds at the top section of my layout. Now this is put on a stroke around the edge, and how I take the stroke off, I go up at the top and I say none, and then also I can go here where it's got the fill and I can fill in a colour. In this case I'll put black. So if I come away from here, here's the shape. Now we can adapt the shape by going right up to the top of the tools panel, clicking on the select tool, the black arrowhead, and moving it in and moving it out. Now you can add new colours to your swatch. If I come up here and click on the options at the side, I can say new colour swatch. I click here. Now from this panel, it's got process colours and spot colours. A lot of these things are to do with printing, but we'll leave process colours on. It has colour mode, it has CMYK, and we can change that. For the most popular ones they tend to use in printing is Pantone colours. And Pantone colours have different types of finish, coated, uncoated, metallic, pastels. We'll just go for the Pantone coated. Now once you're here, you've got all the Pantone standard colours. Now these may be the case that you are doing design work and someone has specified they want a certain Pantone colour, and that's how you would select one. So if you come along, you can find your Pantone colour you want, you click on it, you add, and you click OK. And here it is, it's changed, and it tells me the Pantone colour I've selected, and there it is. So ideally, if you're doing a design job, you only need a certain amount of colours and you just load those colours up for that particular job. And when you do another job, you can then load up some other colours, which is a little bit different than using swatches in Photoshop. Next, I will put some text. So I'll click on my text tool. I can drag out a text box just below here. Fonts are accessed from the top, so you can select a font of your choice and go to Futura, and I'll just click on extra bold and condensed, then select a size. Also you select colors from here, and I'm going to have it overlaid on the black, also paper, and that'll come out white. Now I type in a word, you'll see it's on white so we can't see it at the moment, but once I get my selection tool from the top of the tools panel and move it up, I can then put it in there. Now my margins here are the purple, which I can see here, so I need to have it within those margins. My text box is a little bit big, so I'll just bring it in so it's just hugging that, and I'll bring it in tight on that. Now there's a number of ways you can scale text. I can get the text tool again, highlight it and take it up with the fonts if I wished, or you can change its color or change the font I'm using, or with the select tool I can hover the mouse over one of the corners. On an Apple Mac I press Command and Shift. On a PC I press Control and Shift, and I drag out from one of the corners, and this will make the text bigger. And then I'll just amend my box at the back so it's visible. Now with the text tool selected, I can click within that text, and up at the top you'll see you've got your center, align, you've got indents up there so you can amend your text. Also text can be spread out with the AV, and the line spacing is also here. So all the functions you would have doing design work are all available up at the top. We'll create a shape, a rectangle shape here from the tools, drag out a shape, add a fill, add a stroke border, make it red, increase the stroke. We can also then put a round angle on it. You can also amend the actual radius to make a more of a rounded colour and then move that around. We can alter the opacity of the colour, take that down, and the whole object will reduce or increase as we take the opacity up. The line tool, we click on the line tool, we can drag that out. You can actually see it display when it gets straight and when it doesn't, and we'll drag it out and let go. You can take, put a stroke on it and colour, make it a pinky colour, and then we can also take up the actual thickness. Then with the selection tool, that can be moved around. We can also hover the mouse over just the end piece, and then we can turn it and amend it any way we want, move it around and put it there. I'll just get one more shape. This time I got the ellipse. By holding the shift key, if we drag it out, it gives us a pure round circle. I'll put a fill on it, I'll make it yellow, and we've got that. Get this selection tool and I'll just move that and place it over those objects so they're all overlapping. Now you can see the first object went down first, and it's so at the back, and the second one is in the middle, and the last one is on top. Now we can rearrange those objects. You can go to the object menu. I'm going to bring the first object that we put, the rectangle, that's at the back, so I'm going to click on that. Number of ways I can arrange. I'll go to the object menu, arrange, and it says either bring to front, which will take it right to the top, or bring forward, which will move it one step. So I'll just bring forward and it moves it. Now it's just in front of the line and the lines at the back. Also, I can right mouse click on an object, or control click if you're on an Apple Mac, and bring up arrange and then move that object. Now I have three objects that are all the same size. I've just duplicated them and pasted them on there. They're a bit hiddly-piddly, and I'm going to make a selection by clicking up at the top left, dragging out so it selects all three of them, puts them in a group. If I go up to the top here, it's got the align properties, and I'm going to align the bottom edges so that will align them all together. Then I need to distribute, which is the center one, which is distribute horizontal centers, and that will put them all in the center. They're still grouped. I can now move them around as one group and put them wherever I want them. Here I have three rectangle frames. I've just created them, and they're different in the shapes because they have these crosses through them, and they can work as placeholders. So I put them here, and then later on you can add images. So if I click here, select it, and if I go to File and Place, I find an image, I click OK, it will bring the image in. Now you may find the image is too big, and as we've seen before, we can go up to the top and get it to fit. So I'll click on Fit Proportionally. Unfortunately, you see it's left some gaps either side. So if I click on the next one where it says Fill Frame Proportionally, it will fill the frame proportionally, and that's a little bit better. I can get the direct selection tool, and that can then move the object around, or I can use my arrow keys to move it around. And as we've seen before, I can go press the shift key and constrain it and move it out. Now I can click using the selection tool, get that again, place, bring in another object. Again, it's appeared too big, so I click on fill frame proportion at the top, and then last one I place, bring in another object, bring a better one, bit of autumn leaves, and again fit proportionally. If it's not what you want, get the direct selection tool and move the object around until it's composed and scaled the way you wish.